YouTubers, this is Marcelina. This video shows a simple do-it-yourself rose propagation with plastic bottle which gives 100% rooting success. So stay tuned. The simplest method of propagation is air layering and stem cuttings. If you are crafty out there, you can use any recycled plastic bottle to propagate plants instead of throwing them away and pollute the environment that way. I use this juice bottle because it is stronger and also is easy to cut the plastic. So I cut the bottle closer to half size and created a hole around it. The purpose of these holes is to provide ventilation inside. So when the stem starting to develop roots, there is good amount of oxygen for the roots, which gives you a healthy, well-rooted stem. I remove the neck of the bottle for easy to cut the plastic and also easy for me to open when I do my propagation. I use sponge. You can get this at Marks for $1.99. This is going to wet the soilless media. Now you have to wet the sponge first so it begins the wicking process. I cut the sponge in the middle because this is going to place on the stem and then place the plastic bottle. Now are you guys ready to air layer the roses? Let's do it. Alright, so for better rootstock and well-established new plant, you're going to select as a cane that is big enough, almost close to a pencil size, and it has to be growth from last year. So I'm going to air layer this stalk, and as you can see, it's very healthy. So let's go ahead and start our propagation. So the first thing I would do is to remove the leaves and any thorns on the stem, so it is easy for me to work on in the area. Now after you remove the thorns and some of the leaves, always remember to disinfect your tools. You don't want any fungus transmission to your site. So I use Acetic Plus to disinfect. So I'm going to create a cut, a ring around it from this node, around 1/4 inch below the node, and then another second cut below it, and it is like 1 inch distance. So after I cut a ring around it, I'm going to cut in the center to open the bark. Now, after you open the bark, it is essential to remove the cambium. Failure to root the stem is that the wound is too shallow, and also you leave too much cambium in the working site. So to avoid that problem, you're going to remove the cambium completely. Cambium is a layer of actively dividing cells, and it is responsible in developing growth in the stem and also root development. So in order for the propagation to work and the stem will reinforce to produce roots, you need to remove the cambium completely. So by removing it, it allows this stem to root. So this is what happens when people fail to root the stem when they do early layering, because they don't remove the cambium completely. Now, so after this, I'm going to use a synthetic hormone, which is the Clonix gel, to force the stem to develop some new roots. So Clonix gel is very active synthetic hormone, so I'm going to apply that in that opening wound so it produces new roots. Now, after I apply my Clonix gel, I'm going to use this sponge. You can wet the sponge to wick faster, or you just leave the way it is, but it might take too long to wick the media. So this is already soaked, you just don't see it. It's a little bit damp, so I'm going to place this here. And with my plastic, I'm going to place I'm going to insert it in the trunk or on the stem with my sponge inside. It's like that. Now, to prevent from sliding off, I'm going to reinforce or place a wooden pin. So you can buy this in dollar store, and this is used for when you hang clothes. So I'm going to use it to hold my propagation. Now with my coco cooler, I'm going to place inside the bottle. So to prevent from opening, I'm going to secure it with zip tie. So this is a great idea, guys, to propagate plants, and especially for beginners. you will get a higher success doing this. So make sure you press down the coco pit so there is no air bubble inside. So this is really easy when you water the propagation, because it's open, and then you just, you know, mist or water the cutting. No, not cutting, the propagation side. Now I'm going to cover my early ring with a black plastic bag to prevent sunlight getting into it, and I want it, make sure that it is dark, so this cutting, no, not cutting, why I always say cutting, so the roots will start to develop. So I'm going to place this back. So now it's secure, it doesn't slide down. So on the top, for easy watering, I'm going to close this so it creates heat, maintaining that temperature inside. And I'm going to secure it with another clip, just like that. Now the rooting time when you do this is around between 1 month and 2 months, and I'm going to label it with the time I propagated this rose, and then the expected rooting time that I'm going to check the result. So I might not be able to give you the result right now, guys, while I'm doing this, but I will give you an update within 2 months. So I will place the date I propagated this rose, and then I put a check mark when I'm going to check the propagation. Alright, so what do you think about our simple do-it-yourself early ring roses with plastic bottle? Write your comments below this video. This is a great method of propagation, especially for beginners, because it is simple and also it is easy to use. However, even a simple technique of propagation, most people still fail to root the stem. And if you propagate by early ring and you fail to root the stem, there are two main reasons why you fail. First, the wound is too shallow. Second, you leave too much cambium in the stem. Now, cambium in plants is a layer of actively dividing cells that is responsible for the growth of the stem and also for the development of roots. So if you keep that cambium in the stem, then you fail to root your propagation. So you have to remove the cambium completely to reinforce the stem to develop callosing and then producing that new roots. So I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any other questions, write your comments below. And thank you for watching. This is Marceli at CashierGreens.com.
Subscribe.
See you next time.
Subscribe.